In a small village nestled among rolling hills and vast tea plantations, lived a young woman named Zara. The last thing Zara saw was her stepmother's angry face, then everything went dark. At 18, her life felt like a prison. Ever since her real mother's death, her father had married a new wife, who the villagers called Ms. Kemi. To outsiders, Ms. Kemi seemed like a normal herbalist, selling dried herbs and rare roots at the market. She greeted everyone with a smile, appearing to be a kind woman. But inside her home, she was a fire-breathing dragon. Zara did everything. She fetched water from the well before sunrise, swept the compound, washed clothes until her hands ached, and ground spices until sweat ran down her back. No matter how much she worked, Ms. Kemi never said thank you. Instead, she gave Zara a cold plate of rice while her own children, Deo and Bizi, enjoyed hot curry with meat. She shouted at Zara for small mistakes and beat her for things she didn't even do. Zara's father, Mr. Adewale, never knew. He left for the tea plantations very early and came back late, tired and hungry. By the time he got home, Zara was always quiet, pretending everything was fine so he wouldn't worry. She carried her pain inside like a heavy stone. But one night, everything changed. It was a full moon, the sky was bright, and the wind was strong. Zara couldn't sleep. She turned on her mat, listening to the strange whispers floating in the air. She got up quietly and peeped through the small window. Her heart almost stopped. She saw 4 women moving toward the backyard, all wearing black garments. They were holding hands and walking slowly, and one of them looked exactly like her stepmother, Ms. Kemi. Curiosity pulled Zara outside. She tiptoed behind them, careful not to make a sound, and hid behind a large tree. In the middle of the backyard, the women stood in a circle around a small fire, chanting in a language Zara had never heard before. Their voices rose and fell like the wind. Then one woman said, "It is time. A strong life must go." "Yes," Ms. Kemi answered. "My husband will be the one. His spirit will bring us power. In 3 nights, he will belong to us." Zara's eyes grew wide. She almost screamed. They were talking about her father. They wanted to kill him. She stepped back, her legs shaking, needing to warn him. But as she turned, her foot snapped a dry stick. Crack! The women turned sharply. "Someone is there," one shouted. "Catch her!" Ms. Kemi screamed. Zara ran, her heart pounding. She ran past the pepper plants, past the chicken coop, toward the back door. Suddenly, a black smoke filled the air around her. Her eyes burned. She coughed and stumbled. The last thing she saw was Ms. Kemi's furious face and a flash of red light. Then everything went dark. When Zara opened her eyes, the world was strange. The grass looked taller. The stones looked bigger. She tried to speak, but only a loud "Mia" came out. She looked down and froze. She had 4 legs. She had hooves. She had horns. Zara was no longer a girl. She had been turned into a goat. That night was long for Zara. She couldn't believe what had happened. One moment she was a girl trying to save her father, the next, she was a goat, helpless and weak. Her stepmother, Ms. Kemi, smiled an evil smile as she dragged Zara by a rope into the house. "Now let me see how you will tell your father," she whispered coldly. Zara tried to cry, but goats have no tears. She tried to beg, but only a sad bleating sound came from her mouth. "Me. Me." Her heart was heavy. Ms. Kemi tied her outside near the kitchen, poured palm oil into a calabash, and whispered strange words before going inside to sleep. Zara lay on the ground, her new goat body shivering in the cold, her mind full of fear. What will happen to me? How can I save Papa now? The rooster crowed at dawn. Mr. Adewale woke up and stretched. As always, he called, "Zara, bring me water." But no answer came. "Zara, where are you?" Still silent, he frowned. It wasn't like his daughter, she was always awake before him. He looked around but didn't see her. He shook his head, thinking maybe she went to fetch water early. But Ms. Kemi already had a plan. She carried a big basket on her head. Inside was dried pepper, dried fish, and Zara the goat. She covered Zara with a cloth and walked quickly toward the market. Zara tried to move, but she was trapped under the heavy load. The cloth made it hard to breathe. Her little goat heart beat fast. "No, no, she is taking me to the market," Zara thought. "She will sell me. She will sell me like meat." Ms. Kemi hummed a strange song as she walked, her face looking normal to the villagers, but inside, her heart was full of wicked joy. At the market, she set her basket down and tied Zara to a short stick beside her table. "Strong goat for sale," she shouted. "Buy this one. Very fat, very healthy." People walked by. Some touched Zara's back. Some pulled her ear. "How much?" one woman asked. 500 naira, Ms. Kemi said. "Too much," the woman hissed and walked away. Zara's goat eyes were wide. She shook her head, trying to beg, but no one understood. They only heard bleating. Me. Her stepmother pinched her secretly. "Keep quiet, foolish girl," she whispered. Hours passed. Many people came and left. No one bought the goat. Then a quiet young man walked up. His clothes were old, his face was tired, and in his hand, he carried a small sack. He looked at Zara for a long time. "This goat," he said slowly. "How much?" Ms. Kemi's eyes shone. "For you, 600 naira." The man nodded. "I'll take it." He gave her the money. She smiled for the first time that morning. Quickly, she untied Zara and handed the rope to the man. Zara's goat heart sank. This is the end, she thought. The man pulled her along the dusty road. He lived at the far end of the village near the big river. His house was small, with a palm leaf roof. When he reached home, he tied Zara to a post in his backyard. "Tomorrow," he muttered, "you will make a good stew." Zara's legs trembled. She wanted to scream, "No, I am not a goat. I am a girl." But only "me" came out. The man went inside to rest. Zara stayed outside, weak and afraid. Her goat eyes scanned the yard. There were calabashes, firewood, and a small bench. Then she heard soft footsteps. A boy came out. He was maybe 10 years old, barefoot, wearing a torn red shirt. His name was Deo, the man's son. He walked to the goat and bent down. His big eyes stared at Zara. "This goat looks strange," he whispered. "Your eyes, they look like human eyes." Zara's goat heart jumped. She tried again. This time, something strange happened. Her mouth moved, and a tiny whisper came out. "Help me." The boy gasped. He jumped back. "What? Did you just talk?" Zara nodded weakly. "Yes, I am not a goat. My name is Zara. I am a girl. My stepmother, she did this to me." The boy's mouth opened wide. His heart beat fast. "A girl? But how? Goats don't talk." "It's true," Zara whispered. "She turned me into this because I saw her secret. She wants to kill my father. Please, don't let them cook me." Deo scratched his head. He looked around. His father was still inside resting. "What do I do? What do I do?" he whispered to himself. "Hide me," Zara begged. "Please don't tell anyone. Just keep me safe." The boy nodded slowly. "All right, I will help you. But how do we change you back?" Zara shook her head. I don't know. Suddenly, they heard the man's voice from inside. Deo, come and help me sharpen the knife. The boy froze. His father wanted to kill the goat tonight. Zara's goat eyes filled with fear. Please, she whispered again. Please don't let him kill me. Deo's heart raced. He knew he had to act fast. He bent close to her ear and whispered, Don't worry, I will find a way. The wind blew strong through the trees. The sun began to set, and in the distance, Miss Kemi sat in her house, smiling. She thought the goat was already in someone's soup pot, but she didn't know the goat still had a voice and a boy had heard it. Deo could not sleep that night. He kept thinking of the goat in the backyard. No, she was not just a goat. She was a girl. A girl named Zara. He lay on his mat, eyes wide open, listening to his father's snores. The moonlight came through the window, and the crickets sang outside. His heart was heavy. What if Papa kills her tomorrow? What if I cannot save her? He turned and turned. Then he sat up. He looked toward the backyard through the small window. He could see the shape of the goat lying quietly under the tree. He tiptoed outside. The ground was cold under his bare feet. He crouched beside the goat. Zara, he whispered. The goat lifted her head slowly. Deo, she whispered back, her voice weak but clear. The boy bit his lip. I don't know what to do. My papa, he wants to make stew tomorrow. Zara's goat eyes glowed with sadness. Please don't let him. I must live. I must tell my father the truth. My stepmother wants to kill him in 3 nights. Deo's hands shook. He was only 10, but he understood the danger. He looked up at the stars and whispered, God, help me. Suddenly, he remembered something. There was an old man in the next village. People called him Baba Olaya, the wise elder. They said he knew many secrets. They said he had saved people from sickness and strange happenings before. Deo leaned close. Zara, maybe Baba Olaya can help. If anyone knows how to turn you back, it is him. Zara nodded quickly. Yes, please take me there before it is too late. The boy looked back at the house. His father was still asleep. He knew he couldn't take the goat at night, it was too dark and the bush path was dangerous. He would have to wait until morning. The rooster crowed early. Deo's father, Mr. Olatunde, woke up and stretched. He looked at the goat tied in the backyard. Today we eat well, he muttered, picking up his knife. Deo's heart jumped. He ran forward. Papa, wait. Don't kill it yet. His father frowned. Why not? Are you afraid of blood? No, Papa, Deo said quickly. But this goat, it is special. Please, let's take it to Baba Olaya first. Let him look at it. Mr. Olatunde raised his eyebrow. Baba Olaya? Why? This is just a goat. Deo swallowed hard. Papa, please trust me. Just do this once. If it is only a goat, Baba Olaya will say so. But if it is not? His father stared at him for a long moment. Finally, he sighed. Fine, you and your strange thoughts. We will go. He untied the goat and pulled the rope. Come on then, let's see what this old man will say. Zara's goat legs trembled as they walked. The path was narrow, covered in red dust. Birds flew overhead. The sun was hot already. Deo walked beside her, whispering softly, Don't worry, we are close. After almost an hour, they reached a small hut made of red clay with herbs hanging from the roof. Carved wooden statues stood outside like silent guards. Smoke rose slowly into the air. Mr. Olatunde called out, Baba, are you here? We need your help. The old man stepped out. His hair was white. His skin was dark and wrinkled like old leather. But his eyes were sharp, full of knowledge. He looked at the goat. He looked at Deo. Then he looked at Mr. Olatunde. Slowly, he nodded. "I have been waiting for this," he said. Mr. Olatunde frowned. "Waiting for what?" Baba Olaya did not answer. He bent down and touched the goat's head. The moment his fingers brushed her horn, Zara let out a tiny whisper. "Help me." Mr. Olatunde jumped back. "What? Did this goat just speak?" Deo held his father's hand tightly. "Yes, Papa. I told you she's not a goat. She's a girl. Her name is Zara." Baba Olaya closed his eyes. He sprinkled white powder on the goat. The air grew still. Even the wind stopped moving. The leaves froze in place. "Child," the old man said softly. "Tell me your story." Zara's voice came weak but clear. She told them everything, how her stepmother hated her, how she saw the midnight meeting, how the women planned to harm her father, and how Ms. Kemi turned her into a goat. Mr. Olatunde put both hands on his head. "Oh Lord, and to think I almost killed you for stew." Baba Olaya opened his eyes. "It is true. This is no ordinary goat. This is a girl under a curse. But the curse is strong. To break it, I must perform a cleansing." He spread a mat on the ground and placed Zara upon it. He brought out a small calabash filled with herbs. He sprinkled water on her back and began to chant in a low voice. The ground trembled. The trees shook. The smoke from the roof turned white. Then slowly, Zara began to change. Her horns shrank. Her hooves stretched. Her skin glowed. In just a few seconds, the goat was gone. And in her place sat Zara, weak, trembling, but human again. Deo gasped. His father stepped back in shock. "It is true. She is a girl." Zara sat up, tears running down her face. "Thank you. Thank you for saving me." Baba Olaya helped her stand. His eyes were sad but kind. "You are free now, my child. But your stepmother is dangerous. She will not stop. You must go home and tell your father before it is too late." Zara nodded quickly. She looked at Deo and smiled weakly. "Thank you. If not for you, I would be dead." The boy grinned. "I told you I would help." Mr. Olatunde rubbed his head. He was still shocked. "This is too much for one day. But you must go, girl. Run to your father. Save him before the third night." Zara did not wait another moment. Barefoot, she ran down the dusty path, her hair flying behind her. She ran through bushes, past the river, faster than she had ever run before. The wind whispered around her. The sun burned her skin, but she did not stop. She had to reach her father. Back in her village, Mr. Adewale sat outside his house, his face full of worry. He had searched everywhere for his daughter. Nobody had seen her. His heart was heavy. Ms. Kemi sat nearby, pretending to pound yam, but inside, she was smiling, thinking her plan was working. Suddenly, a loud cry broke the air. "Papa! Papa!" Mr. Adewale jumped up. That voice, could it be? He turned and saw his daughter running toward him, dirty, weak, but alive. He ran to her and caught her in his arms. They hugged tightly, crying together. "My daughter, where did you go?" he asked. Zara wiped her tears. She pointed at the house. "Papa, it was not me who left. It was Ms. Kemi. She turned me into a goat. She is a witch and she wants to kill you in 3 nights." The crowd that had gathered gasped. Neighbors whispered. All eyes turned to Ms. Kemi. Her face went pale. She dropped the pestle. "This is a lie!" she shouted. She is making up stories. But Zara stood firm. No, Papa. I saw her with my own eyes. She and her friends were chanting. They said, "Your spirit must go." The people began to murmur louder. Let the king hear this. Let the king judge. Ms. Kemi's hands shook. Fear filled her heart. She knew her secret was out. And far away, the moon began to rise again. The village square was full. Men, women, and children gathered under the big oak tree. The air was tense. Everyone wanted to hear what would happen. At the center was the king on his wooden throne. He wore a red crown and held his staff of power. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. Beside him stood the elders, their gray hair shining in the sun. Warriors held spears at the edge of the crowd, waiting for the king's command. Zara stood in front of everyone. She was barefoot, her garment torn, but her voice was strong. She told the whole story again. She spoke of her suffering under Ms. Kemi, how she saw the secret meeting at night, how she heard them plan to harm her father, how she was caught, and how her stepmother turned her into a goat. How she was almost sold in the market, and how, by the mercy of God, a boy named Deo and his father saved her. The crowd gasped. Some women covered their mouths. Children whispered to each other. Then the king raised his hand. Bring Ms. Kemi forward. The warriors pulled her from the crowd. She was shaking, but she tried to stand tall. Her eyes darted left and right, looking for a way to escape. Woman, the king said in a deep voice. You have heard the words of this girl. What do you say? Ms. Kemi's lips trembled. She forced a laugh. My king, this is nonsense. She's lying. She's just a foolish girl. How can a person turn into a goat? It is not possible. The crowd murmured. Some nodded. Some shook their heads. The king lifted his staff. Bring the water of truth. At once, a guard came forward holding a small calabash filled with clear water. The water was said to reveal lies. No one who drank it could hide the truth. Drink, the king commanded. Ms. Kemi's hands shook as she took the calabash. Sweat rolled down her face. She tried to refuse, but the warriors held her. Slowly, she drank. For a moment, all was silent. Then her body began to tremble. Her eyes widened. She dropped to her knees. It is true, she cried. It is true. I am guilty. The crowd shouted in shock. Some people spat on the ground. Others covered their heads in disbelief. Ms. Kemi continued, her voice shaking. Yes, I hated the girl. Yes, I went out at night. Yes, I planned to give my husband to the spirits. They promised me power. They told me I must bring someone close to me. I chose him. The crowd roared. Ah, evil woman. Wicked stepmother. Mr. Adewale, Zara's father, staggered back. His eyes were red. And to think I trusted you. I brought you into my house, and this is how you repay me. Ms. Kemi tried to crawl forward. Forgive me, my husband. Forgive me, my king. I was blind with greed. But the king's face was stern. He stood, his staff shining in the sunlight. You have betrayed your family. You have betrayed this land. From this day, you are banished. You must leave this village forever. If you return, your life will be forfeit. The warriors grabbed her arms. She screamed and kicked, but no one pitied her. They dragged her away toward the forest path. Her children, Bizi and Deo, cried, but the elders told them they would now live with relatives who would raise them in peace. The village grew quiet. The king turned to Zara. His voice softened. Child, you are brave. You suffered, but you spoke the truth. Because of you, this evil has been revealed. You have saved your father's life." Zara bowed low, tears in her eyes. "Thank you, my king. Thank you for listening." The king nodded. "Go now. Live in peace. And remember, no matter how long evil hides, the truth will always come out." The crowd clapped and cheered. Some women ran to hug Zara. Men praised Mr. Adewale for having such a strong daughter. Children followed her, calling her the girl who returned. That evening, the compound was quiet again, but this time it was a quiet filled with peace, not fear. Mr. Adewale sat with Zara in front of their house. He held her hand tightly. "My daughter, forgive me. I did not see your pain. I did not protect you from that woman. But I promise, from today, no one will ever hurt you again." Zara leaned on his shoulder, her eyes wet but shining. "I forgive you, Papa. I am just happy to be home." The wind blew softly through the trees. The moon rose over the rooftops. Far away, Deo sat outside his small house in the other village. He looked at the stars and smiled. He knew he had helped save a girl who was almost lost forever. And so the story ended, not with fear, but with hope. The moral of the story: evil may hide, but the truth always finds a way to shine. A wicked heart may plan, but a pure heart will always overcome. And no matter how heavy the night is, the morning will surely come.